Hello friends, welcome to my channel Smart QA Talks. I am Parolika and today we learn how we can handle AJAX in Selenium. So first of all, we should know what exactly AJAX is, what problem we face in Selenium and how we can handle it. So now first we should know what exactly AJAX is. So we see point by point. First point is AJAX is an acronym of asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So this is the full form of AJAX, and AJAX is basically a combination of JavaScript and XML. So what happened from the UI perspectives, from the UI side, JavaScript call is made to the server and we get the XML response from the server. So this is basically an AJAX is. So AJAX is a technique used for creating fast and dynamic web pages. So to elaborate the second point, I will give you one example. Suppose we have one website, single page website we can say. So on that website, suppose we have a small section which updates on getting some response. Suppose that small section have some search box or some button on which if we click on it or if we enter some value on that section, so the data is completely updated inside the section. So what happen if complete site reloads every time we enter any data? So obviously the performance of the site will become very bad. So to avoiding this, we are using AJAX. So what exactly AJAX do? AJAX exactly update that small section which needs to be updated. So AJAX send and receive the data without reloading the whole page. This will update only that small section which needs to be updated. Third point is AJAX works basically with the group of technologies like JavaScript, HTTP request, XML, HTML, CSS, etc. etc. So what happened? The complete flow of AJAX actually based on these technologies. The last point is very similar to the second point, like how it works and what exactly is AJAX do. AJAX sends and receives the data asynchronously without reloading the whole web page. So suppose we have one website and one section is updated, a small section is updated. So AJAX is not going to reload the whole site for updating that small section. This will only update the small section without reloading the whole website. So this is the AJAX. So the next point is how AJAX works. So we have one user interface here. User interface send a JavaScript call to XML HTTP request callback method, then one HTTP request sent to the web server, then web server on the basis of the request exchange the data with the database and get the data into the XML or JSON format and send it back to the UI. So this is the whole procedure how AJAX works. So AJAX and Selenium. Selenium sometimes fail to get the elements which appears after the AJAX call. Reasons? So there are some reasons because of which it happens. Like in AJAX, you can never be sure about the exact wait timing. Waiting for the element for allocated time, but as we could not predict the AJAX call time, so our test scripts fail after waiting. How Selenium handle AJAX? So basically wait commands helps in Selenium to handle the AJAX calls. So the first command is thread.sleep. But this is not a wise choice when it's come to handle any AJAX call, because it suspends the current thread for specified amount of time, and exactly we are not able to predict like how much time AJAX call would take. So what happened, the current thread, with the help of method thread.sleep, the current thread moves from the running queue to the waiting queue and keep on waiting. So this is not a wise choice. Okay, so let's see the next one. So the next one is implicit wait. Implicit wait is what? This method tells WebDriver to wait if the element is not available immediately, immediately. But this wait will be in place for the entire time the browser is open. So any search for the elements on the page could take the time implicit wait is set for. Third one is explicit wait, or we can say WebDriver wait. This wait is exactly the wait which is desired for handling the AJAX. This is used to freeze the test execution till the time a particular condition is met, or maximum time until the condition is met. So what happened in explicit wait? In explicit wait, we have various kind of conditions like presence of element located, visibility of element located, invisibility of element located, element to be clickable. So these all are conditions on the basis of which we can wait, right? So this is the wait, WebDriver wait, we can use to handle AJAX calls. One more wait is here, which is Fluent wait. This is the implementation of wait interface having its timeout and pooling interval. Each Fluent wait determines maximum amount of time to wait a condition, and also repeat the wait process as per the defined interval. For example, like what we defined here, we defined how much time it would take, suppose 30 seconds, and after how much time it will again wait, it will again search for the element. So we will give a pooling interval, like after 5 seconds it will again search for 30 seconds. So waiting time is 30 seconds and it presents once every 5 seconds. So here we can see a small code which define the Fluent wait. In this we are using the list, like wait is equal to new Fluent wait, and in this we are defining the timeout, like we are defining the 30, pooling every, this is the method which is 5. So what happened, wait for 30 seconds and it will appear again for every 5 seconds. So, and ignoring is also one in which no such element exception class is ignored. And again what we are doing, the wait we defined above is now used in below, like web element foo is equal to wait dot until and the condition. So this wait is Fluent wait, in which we are defining the waiting time and the frequency, like after how much time it will make its presence. So this is the Fluent wait. So now take an example how AJAX could be handled in Selenium. So see this diagram. In this diagram, suppose this is a section of a website in which this is a container, a web element whose ID is container, and a small section which shows the data. So right now the section is showing data 1 and the XPath of this section is given below, and here the next to this section, here is a button update whose ID is update, and when user click on this, the data inside the small section data 1 is going to be update. So overall the AJAX is working here. So when we click on the update, rather than loading the whole site, only the section, this small section in which the data one is shown, only this section will be reload or update. So let's see. This is the coding style. So what we do here, first of all, we identify the container. So what we do, we identify by.id container, and we wait for some seconds and find the element container. Okay, element container we get. Now get the text before performing in AJAX call. So in that small sections we have data one, like before clicking the update button. So we first of all fetch out that data. So we are using these lines like web element text element is equal to driver dot find element by xpath. We can fetch out the data and we will store in the string text before AJAX call and trim if it has some extra spaces. Then get the like the next step is like we click the update button, and after clicking this update button the AJAX call will shoot and the data inside this section will update. So in this line, web element update button is equal to driver dot find element dot click, then the update button will click. Then what happen, on clicking a loader button will come which shows like processing. So what we do, we will put our WebDriver wait to meet to check a condition like until this loader button get invisible, like then if if the loader button get invisible, then execute the next test execution like that. So what happened, we are writing here like wait until expected condition dot invisible of the element, and we will put the loader id, like whatever id of the loader is. Then what happened, after when this condition meet, then what happened, we get a new text inside this section and we get the new text. So in next line, get the text after the AJAX call. With the same method, we are getting again the new text, and then we are comparing the new text, and we are defining here the expecting text. So we have expecting text data 2. Now the new text we have and expecting text we have. So in the last line, we make assert equals existing new text and expecting result, and we get the result as pass. So exactly what happened here, we have this site and we need to click on update so that data 1 is updated. So now we click on update. Now loader is run, and when loader is done, the data loading is done, we get the new data, data 2. So rather than reloading the whole page, only that section is updated, that is AJAX. And this is how we write the code in the Selenium with the help of WebDriver wait or explicit wait function, and the result is pass. I hope you get some idea how AJAX can be handled in Selenium. So I hope you like this video. Please share and subscribe my channel to get something more. Thank you.